Hello everybody and welcome back. This week is going to be a bit different. So obviously the eventing season has finished, so I'm not eventing Franco, and Obie has now done his final British dressage competition for this year. So I thought I would share with you guys some of my sort of training and jumping exercises and all of that sort of thing, because I know that that's quite interesting for those of you that have also got horses to take away and try yourselves. And do let me know if you do, because I'll be interested to hear how you get on. So we're going to be setting up some like simulated cross country, and I'm going to be doing this with Obie today. So Obie is obviously retired from eventing and he does more dressage at the minute, but he did successfully compete up to B100 level. We did give a couple of B novices a crack, but it just wasn't meant to be. But I do still quite like to keep him jumping. He does really enjoy it when it's low pressure. And he's done a couple of hunter trial pairs with the lovely Shelley from Everyday Eventers, and I'm hoping to get him team chasing as well next year, early next year. So I do like to keep him jumping, and obviously he's a bit of a pro, so if this all goes wrong, it's definitely down to my riding, because he should be able to help me out a bit. But yeah, so I'm setting up some simulated cross country at home. So I've got a 20 by 40 arena, and I'm really lucky in the fact that one, I have the arena, but two, I have a selection of jumps and poles that I've collected over the years, but I don't have a big fancy set of jumps. So what I'm going to do is show you what you can set up. And yeah, we'll give it a go. We're actually giving it a go tomorrow, so I thought I'd set them up today to give myself plenty of time to set them up properly and then go through what they are with you. But yeah, it should be really exciting, but it's just, I love doing things like this at home, and the reason is that you just set your horse up to understand the question. You just give them the confidence and you make sure that they've got the skills sort of in their toolkit. So although you might not be able to get out on the cross-country course this time of year, or perhaps you don't really have transport, you have to hire it each time, there are still things you can do at home. So that's what I'm hoping I show you guys. So I better get on with setting this up.
I never felt tomorrow closing in this fast. Oh, I guess time's in a rush. Leaves are falling down, but at least they grow back, while I'm on a one-way track. Now I know what it means to grow. It is just enough to get by. Yeah, it is just enough to get.
Okay, so that is the fences set up. So we've got a skinny, some shoulder brushes in a corner. So I'll turn my camera around and walk through them with you and talk through my sort of thinking. But you would have seen from the footage of me building them that I sort of put things in places where I think it's going to work. And then I'm like, oh no, actually, maybe I'll move these around. So do feel free, move the fences around. Make sure you're building a positive experience. So if you know your horse doesn't like skinnies on a short side, don't build one there. So this is just how I like to set them out for Obie. I know Obie can do all of these exercises, but they'll just give him a sharpen up as well. And yeah, as I said, if you like these exercises or you use them yourself, do let me know, because I love that. And if anybody follows me on Instagram and is looking at this, you will look at the shoulder brushes and be like, you always do shoulder brushes. But there's a reason for that, because if you watch Shelley and Everyday Eventers vlog where she rides Obie, I'm sure she won't mind me saying this, she jumps a fence which then goes onto a shoulder brush, and she doesn't ride it as well as she could have done. But because Obie has done this exercise since he was about 7 or 8, he helped her out and he could do it. So this is why I love doing simulated cross country. You're just building their confidence and giving them everything they need in their toolkit. Anyway, I'm going to stop blabbing, turn my camera around and show you what we are doing. Okay, so this is fence number 1. So this is just a skinny on the short side, and this is actually a broken pole. So this is not a specific skinny pole, this is just a broken pole that I kept. So this is going to be looking at accuracy, keeping the punch and the canter. We've then got a corner on the long side, so if we go down here, now I've left it without any ground lines because I know Obie is more than capable of jumping this. And to be honest with you, if I was jumping something like this, which I'm going to be tomorrow, I would just jump it dead straight. It's not a particularly wide corner. However, ideally you'd sort of want to jump it here. So we'll probably have a play with both of that tomorrow. But when your corner's really nice and fair, you can sort of jump it here. But sometimes you have things plonked here out of venting. So what I do sometimes is I sometimes stick a wing in about here so that I have to jump it in the correct place. But we'll just come and have a pop through that. Obviously, if you're jumping a young horse, you'd perhaps have this a bit smaller, and you could put ground poles on either side as well to help the horse out. And you could either put the ground poles in line with the corner, or you could put them where you actually want to take off, so they then wouldn't be in line, but they'd be in line for where you want to jump, if that makes sense. And then the last fences is the shoulder brush on the diagonal, and I love doing this, and I think it's really important just to get your horses looking and focused and know where they're going, because then when you're on the cross-country course, as I said, that vlog with Shelley, Obie's able then to help her out, which is exactly what you want. That's what cross-country riding is all about. So they're about 90 centimetres, I think, these. So you come off the diagonal, jumping it here. Obviously, these ones you can only jump this way. You'll see on the footage of me putting them up, I did put 2 poles on the back one because I wanted to have a pole on either side so I can jump it either way. But I don't have enough poles, so we'll have to jump it this way and then move these poles, these ones, to the other side and jump it the other way. And do really make sure that if you've got any poles that you are putting them on the right side, that you are jumping true ground lines, because again, any false ground lines are just going to knock your horse's confidence. So up over this one, and then it's 2 strides to the next one. So we'll walk it together. So it's 1, 2 for your landing. 1, 2, 3, 4 is your first stride. 1, 2, 3, 4 is your second stride, and then 1, 2, and we've got to the fence. So it's a really nice positive 2. Obie loves this exercise, so I'm looking forward to giving this a crack tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully that's shown you, with not a huge amount of space and not loads and loads of equipment, what you can actually set up. And this will then put us in good stead when we get on our cross-country course, which Obie doesn't really do, but hopefully when we go team chasing, that will help him. So that is all the fences. As I say, I'll be tacking up tomorrow, but it'll just be the next clip, so irrelevant information for you. But yeah, we'll get Obie ready, we'll have a pop over these, and it may be that we come in, and depending on how he's feeling in the day, we may have to move some stuff around and we may have to change things, and that's absolutely fine, isn't it? So yeah, we'll give these bad boys a go tomorrow. So it's the next day. Obie is tacked up, booted up. He is dragging me down to the arena, so I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go, but it'll be entertaining nonetheless. And what I meant to say yesterday, just in terms of the corner and the shoulder brush fences, is you'll notice I've used a small bollard on the side that you're jumping, and that is just to simulate what it will be like on a cross-country course as much as possible. But obviously, if you have a horse that's relatively young or inexperienced, you probably wouldn't want a small bollard. You could use a full wing, and that will help draw their eye in and get them over the fence. So this is what I mean. So see how I've used these green bollards on the end? That is just to make it more difficult for you. So let's see how the boy gets on. I'm hoping my mum's going to come down in a minute and record, so might have to give her a ring if she's not up yet. Okay, here we go. So I've actually been warming up for about 10 minutes at this point, but I thought it's probably really boring for you guys to watch me trotting around for 10 minutes. So I've had a really good trot, done lots of walk trot transitions, and then I'm going to head up into my canter in a minute. And a couple of things. First thing is, the reason I'm doing a voiceover is because my lovely mum came and videoed, but I don't actually see a huge amount of my mum, despite the fact that the horses are at her house. So we were actually chatting about the kids and about her holiday, which I thought didn't really suit the vlog at all and was probably quite boring. So I thought, well, I'll stick some music on and then I'll video and tell you what I was feeling and then what I can sort of see now looking back on it. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, unfortunately, I've been taking far too many videos and pictures of the horses and my children. So my phone kept cutting out and saying not enough storage. So at the end, I actually jumped the skinny at the top around to the corner, and he does it really nicely. And I said to my mum, have you got that? And she was like, oh no, your screen's gone black. So unfortunately, it is kind of a bit of a limited version of the session, which is a bit disappointing, to be honest with you. But never mind, I'm sure we will do something similar again. And I still wanted to share it because I'm really proud of Obie and how he's jumping, and I thought these exercises worked well. One thing I would say, just as I'm cantering around here, you'll see that I've got up off his back a little bit, but with limited space you can't really go careering round. With Franco I probably would push him a little bit more, but Obie, being naturally a bit more forward anyway, I'm just being a bit cautious here. But you can see his quarters swinging in, and it's really irritating to watch because when I'm riding I can't feel it, and I know that not this dressage test but the one before, they did comment on it. So that is something when I'm next in the school, just gonna have to be doing a bit of shoulder in, I think, just to get those quarters back under control. So Mum has now moved to the middle of the arena, even though she really didn't want to. I think she moves back to a corner in a minute because she's worried about being run over. That's jump number 1, pretty naff and lacking any sort of energy. I think it took him by surprise a little bit. But also, a little caveat here. As I was warming up, I said to my mum, oh, I actually can't remember the last time that I jumped Obie. And she was like, well, I've not seen you jump for ages. So, yeah, I think Obie was like, oh, these jumps are for me. Great, I'm not just doing flat work today. So we've jumped that one twice this way. He's landed a little bit unbalanced both times. So I decided to change the rein, so we're just going to have a little pop over the other rein, just getting warmed up. I'm not too worried really about sort of how he jumps this, as long as he's sort of getting from A to B in a relatively nice way. That's a bit better. I'm trying not to sort him out too much. You know, he knows what he's doing. He's just got to get to the fence and pop over it. You'll also see I do give Obie quite a lot of walk breaks. That's just because he's a little bit older. And although he's very fit, we do an awful lot of hacking, and obviously we do quite a lot of schooling too. He's not jumping fit, and it is a completely different set of muscles. So I'm just trying to really look after him here. So next we are having our first pop over the corner. He's clocked onto it, which is nice. And he jumps it really nicely. He gives it quite a lot of air, which actually I really like, because sometimes Obie can be a bit flat, which can cause us to have a pole in the shoulder thing. So he did jump that quite nicely, but I thought we just hung a little bit. So I've just pushed the canter on a little bit more. And now we're coming again. As I said in my walking of this, I'm just jumping that corner dead straight. And that just makes it easier for me, makes it easier for him. But also then when you're on your cross country, when they sort of see a corner, you've made it really obvious we jump them. There also wasn't much space to get in the right line because of where the shoulder brush were. But yeah, you can make your corners as hard and difficult as want in your practice and sort of go from there really. So next we're having a look at the shoulder brush. That is our first attempt, and you'll see he does 2 and a shuffle, and that is because I've overheld on the way in and he's landed a little bit short, which took me by surprise because normally Obie can sort of launch himself in. He's very different to Franco, so he'll sort of come in really confident with holding the rein, and he sometimes just goes, I can't do it. He's always been like that, never been able to get that out of him. So yeah, that's sort of what's happened to that first one. So I think we're going to come around again now. I think this canter just needs a little bit more energy. So looking where we're going, round the corner. So we've had another little shuffle in, which has made that distance difficult. Way hunting position from me there. But you know, that's cross country. I've left this in because realistically, that's going to happen on your cross country course. It's about getting from A to B. It's not about looking pretty. And then I think we're coming to the corner and I just say, hey, let's just balance a little bit. There we go. And he jumps that nicely. Good boy, Obie. Does land on the wrong leg though, so we've quickly changed that. And then another little break. But I really like how he's jumping here, bless him. Like, we've not done this sort of thing in ages. I felt rusty jumping him just because he's a completely different kettle of fish to Franco. And the bits where I felt like he was getting a little bit strong on his forehand, like here, I've just come down to a walk, I just do a circle. I'm chatting to my mum about something at this point. Just pop in a circle, take a breath, and then go again. And you know, on your cross country course, you can't do that. But when you're training, you can, and you can kind of instill those things in them that you want them then to take forward. Okay, these walk to canter transitions, I just really hope my dressage instructor isn't looking, because they're not the best. They're not the best. So coming round again, much better shot. Still a little bit defensive from me over 2, but that is historical. I had a rotational on Obie a number of years ago, and I've always just been a little bit more defensive, but I think he jumped this all really nicely, and I was really proud of him. What a good boy. So that is us done. He was absolutely fantastic, wasn't he, bless him? He actually felt a little bit strong, and you'll probably see when I'm sort of finishing from the fences, he's tanking off a little bit, and I'm trying to just say, whoa, whoa. But it's really nice that he's up for it. What good fun. Thanks to my mum as well, bless her, getting up early to come and film us. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that vlog, because we certainly enjoyed filming it. And I think what I'll do is a bit of a voiceover for that one, because there wasn't much commentary. But yeah, anyway, we will see you next time.